Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, happy St. Paddy's Day, happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a safe and wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox News has just reported, actually it was the other day, but it was a great interview with Jim Trusty, former federal prosecutor Jim Trusty, discusses how the Clinton campaign allegedly hired Computer Pro with Pentagon DARPA contracts to engage in surveillance of Trump. And he talks about something very interesting. The link to this interview, this is a Fox Business article. Fox Business interview on YouTube. The interesting thing here is that he talks about, the former federal prosecutor talks about how Durham has the evidence, will almost certainly indict high-level officials. And the one thing that he did mention is that Merrick Garland might go to bat for, let's say, Madam Secretary, if they decide to indict Comey or Clinton or others. The one thing that Durham will have to contend with, possibly, depending on how high it goes, and I think it'll go very high, because I think that we have 3 indictments already directly related to setting up and framing Trump. Nobody was ever indicted for working alongside intelligence officials of that country that was accused of having installed Trump. See, it's interesting how the same people who will be so indignant and outraged that Trump, won't accept certain results, they'll be so indignant, and these are the same people who perpetuated an absurd myth that they actually purchased. They purchased their own myth with the Steele dossier, with Alpha Bank nonsense, with hiring tech firms. They indicted intelligence officials, we'll just say from Vladimir's country, based on Company One's evidence. The company that was utilized to obtain all of that evidence against these intelligence officials was hired by the Democratic Party. Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, Christopher Steele, Michael Sussman, hired by the Democratic Party, or by Clinton. So you have all of these people either working directly for Madam Secretary or getting paid and hired to work for the Democratic Party. And then the information that they obtained, whether it's surveillance on Trump, is then given to government officials. And those government officials like Comey say, well, I didn't know. James Comey, the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, actually states he didn't know, and I believe he stated this under oath, which would be perjury. He didn't know that the dossier that he tried to use to intimidate Trump, the Steele dossier, that he used ultimately to begin or to continue investigations into Trump, he didn't know that dossier was purchased by Clinton. Hit subscribe to this channel, by the way, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at 195,000 subscribers. If you enjoy my unique, sometimes annoying personality, if you enjoy my reporting on the Durham probe, other topics, if you like my mindset or my viewpoints on politics and a whole bunch of other topics, hit subscribe to this channel. Word of mouth is the best thing you could do. If you want to support my work long term to ensure that you'll always be able to see me on this platform and any platform, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. But word of mouth, ladies and gentlemen, tell your friends about this channel, and I need to do more work on the stock market crash channel, but that will be unfortunately aptly named. We are heading towards a cataclysmic, devastating stock market crash that we've been seeing in slow motion, but it's going to be terrible. And I wrote about that and I predicted that in the Federalist last October. Read that article below in the pinned comment, but the best thing you could do if you enjoy this channel is tell your friends, tell anyone, family, anyone who might enjoy, to subscribe to H.A. Goodman on YouTube. Now, what they talk about in this Fox Business interview is the overwhelming evidence they have, the different types of legal statutes that could be used. I believe that he talked about 18 U.S. Code 371. So I do believe he talked about 18 U.S. Code 371, which is what I wrote about in the Federalist. So I wrote about that in the Federalist. And I said Comey and McCabe should be charged under 18 U.S. Code 371. Now, what could happen is they could both turn on Madam Secretary or the Democratic Party. The person who has the goods on everyone is James Comey, even McCabe. He was willing to testify against McCabe, okay? That's what friends are for. He was willing to testify against McCabe. So James Comey has the goods on everybody. He covered up the Clinton email probe, said, well, she didn't intend to store top secret intelligence. How it was transferred onto servers, we don't know. Private servers. By the way, I want Clinton and Trump to go to rematch. God bless Madam Secretary. I want her to become the nominee. I think that she might have said she's not running. Who knows? It really doesn't matter what she says. I believe that she wants to run again. I believe that she should, and she would easily be not only become nominee, she would get every Democrat on the planet to vote for her. So, and I want a rematch. I think we need that. I think we need that as a country. We need to exercise all the demons of the past 5-6 years. They went after Trump and created this Cold War, Red Scare, hysteria, and frenzy. They believed nonsense, gossip, innuendos, hearsay. They purchased lies, deceitful statements, allegations, baseless claims. These are the same people who get completely and utterly apoplectic when Trump engages in just a little bit of hyperbole. But they actually believe that Trump was installed by another country. And they can't stand whenever he says something, oh my God, but they actually believe that he was installed by another country and that Facebook ads interfered, or that the DNC hack interfered in the election by proving to everyone that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Well, I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. And I was the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. You could read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist on hagoodman.com. I can tell you that back when I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, everybody knew that Bernie Sanders was being cheated. Everyone. Everyone. And the DNC emails confirmed that. But if you listen to Democrats and media, it was a plot by another country because Clapper and Brennan said so. By the way, Democrats and media don't care if John Radcliffe says anything. They appeal to authority when it suits them. All the authorities in Trump's administration on all different subject matters were ignored or mocked by the same people who revere those same authorities, positions of authority when Democrats are in charge. So you're talking about the most duplicitous people. But anyway, this was a very interesting interview. And it talked about how perhaps Merrick Garland could get involved in protecting somebody too high up. The thing that the hope that I have, and I think that it's a realistic hope, not just some kind of dream or whatever. When you have Republicans controlling the House and Senate, which they almost certainly will get the Senate also, you're going to have a different ballgame. The pendulum power will then shift. You're not going to have like Richard Burr, Paul Ryan, or Mitch McConnell type Republicans. Mitch McConnell will eventually, the Lindsey Graham, check out the segment I have on Lindsey Graham prior to this segment. Lindsey Graham tried to use the 25th Amendment against Trump, according to a book. Who knows? He probably did. Because Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, they will go, even Ted Cruz, to an extent, will sway wherever the political winds take them. Trump Republicans are going to control the House and Senate. The Republican Party will be completely dominated by Trump Republicans, to the dismay and the shock and the horror of Democrats and media. The politics in D.C. will be different. So you're going to have that influence or, political will there. They might even influence media a bit. Who knows? The Durham probe is going to indict a lot more people. Be here for the coverage. Hit subscribe. Tell your friends I'll be back in 2 hours. Be here in 2 hours, people. I do 4 segments a day on this channel, and I'll start doing a whole bunch of segments on the Stock Market Crash channel, hopefully like tomorrow or even starting this evening. But every 2 or 3 hours, check this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe and tell your friends. Thank you, and have a safe and wonderful St.